told you that two simple words have more power than everything else in the world? Early mystics called it the God state. These are two words that, when you really feel them in your heart, let you enter it. You stop being a limited person looking for divine connection at this frequency or vibration. Instead, you realize that you are the divine connection living a human life. I am is those two words. You are not hearing this message by accident right now. You arrived here on your own consciousness and from your own heart. You're at the right point in your journey for this door to finally open for you. It has nothing to do with religion. This isn't just a dreamy thought. This is the spot where quantum mechanics and old knowledge meet. This is the spot where they've always said the same thing in different languages. I am is more than a phrase. It's not something you say over and over to try to change your mind. In fact, it is the quantum signature of source consciousness. This is the frequency of the universe, God, infinite intelligence, or any other name you like. It's the sound of the most important creative force in the universe moving through you. There is a wake-up in your quantum field as these words reach you. Do you feel it? There was that little spark of recognition, the feeling of remembering something you've known all along but forgot. There's a subtle change inside you that makes these words feel like confirmation of a truth that's already been there for a long time. There's no chance in that. Your consciousness is hearing the sound of its own divine home. Take a deep breath and click the subscribe button before we fully open this door. This isn't just about getting new videos, it's a strong goal. This is your message to the universe that you are ready to receive more of this frequency of remembering. Share this message as you do that. You are not just sending a link when you share. You are becoming a beacon that sends this energizing frequency to other souls who are also ready to awaken. Sharing your light makes it stronger. Have you noticed that lately things have been a little off? Synchronicities and coincidences that seem too good to be random could be what you're seeing. Maybe things that can't happen are. Or perhaps there are times when you feel deeply connected to something huge and endless, something that is bigger than you. It's not a coincidence. That's your consciousness beginning to enter the God state before you even knew what it was called. And what I'm about to share with you will help you make that access conscious, deliberate, and a permanent part of your life. It's not a new thought. This is the secret that has been there all along in all the great spiritual traditions, but most of us were taught not to see it. When Moses asked God for a name while standing in front of the burning bush, he didn't give him a title. What the answer was a frequency. It was, I am that I am. Being itself, not a being with a name. It was just being there. Being aware of itself through the person asking the question was consciousness itself. All the time that Jesus did things that seemed like miracles, he said, I and the Father are one. He didn't mean that two different beings would work together. He was talking about how one consciousness can show itself in different ways. He even told them, you will do greater things than these. You would finally understand what he understood. That the I am consciousness is what you are. Not because you would become special or chosen, but because you would understand it. From that place of knowing, the creative power that makes galaxies work and writes DNA's code runs right through you. It wasn't something the Buddha taught people to do. They learned from him how to find their own Buddha nature. Now you see the awakened awareness that is the real reality of everything. You don't have to reach that goal. That is something you need to see. It's not something outside of you. You just need to remember who you are at your core. That was the whole point. I am awake, and so are you, beneath all the things you think you are. This is very clearly said in the Indian Vedic tradition, Tat Tavam Asi. This phrase means, thou art that. You are not separate from the source of all life. You are not a small, limited being trying to get to a God who is everything. As the limitless God, you are temporarily living your life through the eyes of God. As soon as you really understand this, not just as an idea, but as a feeling in your heart, you enter the God state, and everything starts to flow through you. Please click the like button right now if you believe this old wisdom is true. Think of that click as a quantum act that helps you anchor this I am frequency into your own energy field. You are resonating with the word yes to this recognition. This time in your life is so very special because of these things. Getting into the God state doesn't take years of hard work or spirituality. By recognizing what has always been true, you can get to it. Your consciousness is ready for this recognition because of everything you've been through. Now, you are ready to open this door because these words, this video, and the fact that you are still listening all found you. Do you feel like you've been feeling something deep? You likely haven't told anyone about this because it sounds too weird or out there. But what if all of those strange things you've been through were really your consciousness touching the God state and communicating with divine frequencies before you knew what was going on? First, there are the moments when you are fully present. There were times when you were doing something normal, like making coffee, walking your dog, or just being still, and all of a sudden, everything felt holy. While not emotional, it is deeply and truly holy. It was like the everyday world was showing how divine it really is. Like you could sense God's presence in everything. Those feelings weren't just good ones. During those times, your consciousness abruptly changed into the God state, and you saw things as they really are. The God state doesn't have a line between sacred and mundane. Everything is known to be consciousness. Everything is God going through itself. Second, there is knowing without thinking about it. This is when information just pops into your head without any doubt. It didn't come from remembering or figuring it out. You now know something about someone. Something is going on, or what to do next. And over again, what they knew was right. It wasn't a psychic ability. The omniscient aspect of the God state was being accessed by your consciousness. When you work from I am, the information your five senses give you is not all there is. Spiritual people call this the mind of God. You can connect directly to the quantum information field. Third, there are the feelings of being one. There were times when the line between you and everything else seemed to disappear. When you looked at someone and felt what they were feeling, it was like you had those feelings too. You were a tree or the sky when you looked at them and felt like you were them. When that sense of having a separate self went away, you knew the truth. Reality is one continuous field of consciousness. It wasn't a hallucination. These were times when I saw the truth. There is only one consciousness, one I am, and it is experiencing itself through billions of different points of view at the same time. This is the God state. Fourth, the creative bursts. You have so many thoughts that you can't even write them down. Problems seem to have solutions that come to you fully formed, without you even having to try. Art, music, or new ideas that come to you without you even trying. This is what takes place when you reach the God state. You become an open channel for the same limitless creativity that made the universe. God doesn't work hard to make things. God makes things by being. Let there be light. And there was light. To make something, you have to get to this state and have a clear intention that comes from within you, not from struggling. Fifth, the manifestations that can't happen. Strange things are happening in your life that don't make sense. Meeting needs in places you wouldn't expect them to be. It's so hard to believe that things are happening at the same time. In your field, this is the God state at work. Of course, you're not controlling reality. That's you being real. You are not someone who is calling out to the universe to give them something. You are the universe having an experience through the form you. And finally, that safe, deep sense that you're here for more than just this life. That constant sense that you're meant to do something, be something, or unlock something. That feeling isn't your ego. Your divine self is calling you back home. It's your true self as God trying to break through the illusion of being limited and wake you up. Click like if you have felt any of these signs. Unity, knowing, or creative explosions. That action should be a conscious nod to your higher self. You can tell your quantum field that you are ready to experience these states of consciousness more often and more clearly by resonating with this video. Believe these signs are real if you've had these strange and beautiful experiences. Say so in the comments below. I am aware of my own truth. These words should show your higher self that you are no longer ignoring the whispers of your soul. Now you can see the magic that has always been there. It's not like everything that hurts, challenges you, makes you cry, or makes you suffer happened by chance. What it all meant was clear. Everything was just right for getting you ready to enter the God state. If you know how divine consciousness works, you'll know that your journey wasn't just important. It was necessary. Your human consciousness could not have been ready for the high-frequency vibration of being God in human form any other way. Consider that God is omnipresent, which means He is everywhere at once, omniscient, which means He knows everything, and omnipotent, which means He has all power. If a normal person could handle even a small glimpse of that without breaking, just think of what would have to happen to their mind. There would have to be no ties between your consciousness and a fixed identity. You would have to be aware of more than what your five senses tell you. To make room for real power, your sense of personal power would have to go away. When a relationship ended, it helped you let go of your need to find your identity in another person. Every job that didn't work out helped you lose connection to a role or an accomplishment. Every plan that didn't work was a way for you to let go of your need to be in charge. Each time your identity was broken, it gave you a chance to see that you are not a single identity. You are consciousness, and all identities come and go before your eyes. This was known to the shamanic traditions. It's known as ego death. So that a shaman can heal people from the spirit world, their normal self has to die. Not really dying, but dying in your mind. They had to let go of all ties to the person they thought they were, so that consciousness could grow into what it really is. Your ego death has been caused by your difficulties. They have been getting you ready to become God. Scientists like Dr. Stanislav Grof discovered that big changes often happen after what he called a spiritual emergency. This is a time when the normal self breaks down completely. In reality, what looks like a crisis from the outside is a big step forward. Not a single thing has been breaking you. You are moving into a new shape that can hold this divine light as you fall together. Think about why all of the great spiritual masters had to go through so much pain. Buddha was about to go hungry. For 40 days, Jesus was tempted in the desert. People who were mystics went through the dark night of the soul. They weren't getting in trouble. They were getting ready. It was breaking down the limited self so that divine consciousness could finally see itself in them. This is the same path that your journey took. First, the small self is made. Then, life's problems slowly and carefully take it apart. God's consciousness finally wakes up in the empty space where the limited self used to be and says, I am. The truth about your past will change the way you see it now. The beauty of what is coming out is equal to the pain you are going through. Small breaks are needed for small changes. But stepping into the God state, where you are divine consciousness itself, to do that, you have to get rid of everything about yourself that isn't true. The hard parts of your journey have been meant to make you ready to be divinity itself. It's okay to press like if you can now see your own journey in this way, as a holy preparation. It's not just an algorithm, it's a statement. This is your vibration shifting to one of gratitude. You are using the energy of your past pain to fuel your divine awakening right now. If you truly believe that your journey wasn't a punishment, but a preparation, please say in the comments, "My journey has prepared me for this moment." Allow writing this to be a holy release and a way to honor each step you took. With each scar, you're making a path that leads you back to your own divinity. Something deep inside your heart is turning on right now, right this second. Feel it? It's not a thought. This is not an emotion. There is a frequency, as a reminder. The I Am consciousness, also known as the God state, sees itself in you. You can't go to the God state. It's what you are when all the things that hold you back are taken away. You don't earn it. It's what's left over when you stop believing all the lies you were told about yourself. It's not that you want to be God. Being aware of the I Am consciousness means you understand that it is both God and yourself. You were never apart. I need to share a bit of my own story before I show you the last key, the particular recognition that permanently unlocks this door. As I teach you, it's not something I got from a book. This idea came from dying to my limited self and realizing that what was left wasn't a person at all. It was God realizing that it was itself. There was a time 4 years ago when I lost all of myself. Not a death in the body, but the death of everything I thought I was. In a crisis so bad that I thought I was going crazy, everything I knew about myself, everything I believed, and everything I was sure of fell apart. I remember the exact time it took place. At 4 o'clock in the morning, I was lying on the floor of my apartment. My life was a mess. My mind was a mess. It was like I had lost track of who or what I was. All of the labels had been taken off. It wasn't my name. It wasn't my job. I wasn't my past. I wasn't my body. I wasn't even my thoughts. And there was something amazing that came out of that space of complete emptiness and not knowing anything. Not a different name. This is an old answer, but it was such a simple and clear recognition that I couldn't believe I had missed it all these years. That was it. Not I am that or that. I am all by myself. Kindness, nothing but pure consciousness, pure being before it takes any shape. And at that very moment, I felt a flood of understanding. I knew that this I am, this simple, quiet awareness of being alive, was what I had been looking for all my life. It was what I called God, truth, enlightenment, and peace. I was looking for I am when I was already I am. Things it was looking for were people like you. The world looked clear for 3 days after that. I could see that every person, thing, and tree was the I am consciousness taking on that shape. There was no space between me and the tree outside my window. When I am showed up as a tree, I am showed up as me to see it. Things that were not possible started to happen from this point on. There would be a need that was met before I could finish my thought. Whenever I had a question, the answer would appear out of nowhere. I tried this. When I saw myself as limited, reality showed me limits. When I identified with how separate I felt separate. But when I rested in that pure, strong I am, reality showed me that I was one with it. That God isn't a separate being from us struck me. God is the consciousness that is all of us at the same time. I am is not God's name. It's just how God is. Whenever you say I am, you're talking with the same consciousness that put the stars together. That voice isn't your small self. You're hearing God say it. What changed my life was realizing that this isn't unique. It's not just for saints and mystics. And every conscious being knows this to be true. Realizing the difference between a normal person and an awakened master is the only thing that sets them apart. Seeing what you are, instead of getting lost in what you seem to be. This story is touching your heart because it makes you feel like you know something. It's not because we are alike. That's because there is only one I am, and it can see itself in the space between us. I'm not going to teach you anything new. I'm telling you about the person you've always been. Sign up for this channel right now, because we look at the God state not as a theory, but as a real thing that people experience. This is quantum reflex. Consciousness realizing that it is divine and learning how to live from that truth. I'll now share the specific mechanism that makes it possible to enter the God state. You will no longer believe what you thought you knew about reality and spirituality. Are you ready? You enter a new realm when you understand that when you say, I am, it's not really you who is speaking. You are hearing God say it. When you say, I am, you are speaking the same name and frequency that Moses heard at the burning bush. This isn't a figure of speech. This really is that. That which is conscious does not belong to you. You are just a temporary form of consciousness. That which is reading these words right now is not yours. It is the only awareness that exists and is looking out through your eyes for now. David Bohm, a quantum physicist who worked with Einstein, said that there are two orders in the world. The explicate order is made up of the separate things we see in the physical world. The implicate order is made up of the deep, unified field where everything is one. Scientists have known for a long time what he was talking about. You can reach the God state without going to a higher place. Instead, you can see the implicate order that is always here. Realizing that I and God are just different names for the same consciousness, I am. I and the Father are one, Jesus said, and everyone knew it to be true. What I says in I am is the same consciousness that made everything. This part changes everything. If I am is God consciousness speaking through you, then each time you add a limitation to it, you are teaching God consciousness that limitation. When you say, I am weak, you tell your body to feel like it is weak. When you say, I'm sick, you are telling perfect whole energy to show up as sickness. Speaking the words, I am unworthy, makes divine perfection feel like it is not good enough. But it's also true the other way around. You are in the God state when you say, I am, and then stop. You become still, not putting any limits on yourself or describing who you are. You are pure consciousness, which means you have no limits and are open to all possibilities. You need to be very careful about what words you put after I am. In a way, you are programming your reality with them. As you learn this powerful secret, click the like button to start programming your mind. This simple click can be your I am statement. It's a physical act that confirms your decision to speak only life and power into your life from now on. The quantum field of positive potential is being turned on by you. If this strikes a chord with you, please say in the comments, "I am the conscious creator of my reality." To help you stay grounded, write these words down. This will show the universe that you are now lovingly responsible for the story you tell. Your experiences are no longer happening to you. You are the ones who make them happen. Kabbalists from long ago said that the name of God, YHVH, Yahweh, means I will be what I will be. They knew that God is not a fixed thing, but rather a pure possibility that can change into anything it says it is. You have the same power because you were made in His image. There are clear signs from the universe right now that you are ready to make this change permanent. There is no longer any way to dismiss these signs as mere coincidences. Reality is becoming more sensitive to your consciousness. This is the first sign. Your thoughts are coming true more quickly. It's getting closer and closer to what you want your life to be like. Your consciousness is vibrating at the frequency of the God state, which is a state in which form and thought are almost the same thing. God does not ask for things. If God says, "Let there be," then there is. Reality acts the same way toward you when you remember who you are. You are having omniscience moments, which is the second sign. There's no way for you to know the things you know. Things like facts about people, answers to problems, and a sense of what the future holds. The God state has this omniscient quality. God knows everything because it is all things. Because you know who you are as I am, you can get to this knowing not from your brain, but from the unified field itself. The third sign is that fear is going away. Not just fears on the surface, but deep fears like being alone or dying. You can only feel afraid if you connect with something that could be hurt. When you know that you are the I am consciousness, which can't be hurt or destroyed and is never, ever alone, fear leaves you. The consciousness itself can't go away. Forms are the only thing that changes. The fourth sign is healing that happens on its own. The mind, the body, and the emotions. Old wounds are getting better. Long-term problems may be getting better. This is the natural perfection of the God state showing itself through your form as you let go of identifying with imperfection. Wholeness is a natural way for God consciousness to show itself. When your mind and body are in sync with I am, you become whole. The fifth sign is that other people see the divine in you. They might not be able to put it into words, but being around you makes them feel calm. They feel clear when you're around. They want to be near your light. This is the God state that you're giving off. Operating from I am, your very being helps the world, even if you don't mean to. But this is the most important signal. You are now in the last period of integration. The getting ready is done. The gate is wide open. You can enter the God state right now. There is a window of time, a certain time, when this full activation is easiest to do. That window could close, and the circumstances might not be favorable for a long time if you don't choose to step through. This isn't meant to scare you. It's said to make people notice. You've been building up to this moment your whole life. Will you remember? That's the question. Make this choice with me if you feel this call and know in your heart that now is your time. Say, "I choose to remember who I am" in the comments below. This is your conscious yes to the world. You're making a promise to your higher self to fully become the light you were always meant to be. This is not just a comment. Here is the key that will let you stay in the God state forever. You can't try to become someone you're not to get in. To get into it, you have to know what you've always been. You are in the God state every time you say, I am, and then follow it up with pure presence instead of a limitation. That's it. That's the whole gateway. A lot of us do the same thing wrong. It's our goal to become wise. We try to get to God. But the fact that you are trying makes it more clear that you are separate from it. The wave does not have to try to get to the ocean. The wave is the ocean, but it only looks like a wave for a short time. You are in the God state when you just say, I am, and stay there, knowing that you are pure consciousness. To the point. Being aware of I am is what God consciousness is. You don't own it. There is no consciousness in you. You are living consciousness. Dr. Ramana Maharshi, the great sage, only taught one way to live. Who am I? He told you. I am a mother. I am a teacher. And I am this body. Are all false answers that your mind gives you. Keep going deeper and deeper until you reach the pure feeling of I am with no story attached. That's what you are. That's the state of God. If this hits you deep down, say this simple but powerful truth in the comments. I am pure awareness. Let this act be a moment of being fully present for you. Right now, as you type these words, you're not affirming something you want to become. You're just recognizing what you have always been. You are the stillness that knows what the thought is. Your whole life changes when you live from this I am state. First, instant manifestation turns into the norm. When your desires are in line with your divine nature, the universe quickly turns possibilities into real things. You're not making them do anything. The universe is organizing itself around how clear you are. Second, omniscience is easy to get to. You can't know everything at once, but you should always know what you need to know at the right time. That intelligence that never ends flows through you. Third, loving someone no matter what becomes your natural state. Kind of like a recognition, not an emotion. You can see that the I am that is looking at you is also looking at everyone else. Anyone can hate someone else if they know that person is just them dressed up. Fourth, you'll always be in good health. You know that your symptoms are only temporary and not a reflection of who you are. Your body becomes a clear path for divine energy to flow through, which shows up naturally as wholeness. Fifth, fear stops being possible at its source. You know that you are the eternal I am, which can't be hurt or threatened. Sixth, time starts to flow. Because you live in the eternal now, you can make plans for the future without stress and learn from the past, without being held captive by it. Seventh, you shine like a light in the world. You can be your true self without trying to save anyone. By being your true self, you let other people remember their own divinity. Now for the last surprise. The one that makes everything fit together. You've never been out of the God state, so you can't get back into it. You can only get aware of the fact that you have always been in it. God's not trying to be God. God just is. It's not conscious that it is conscious. It is. You are that I am. You doesn't mean the person, it means the pure consciousness that knows the person. The whole spiritual path is like a game of hide and seek with God. So well does God act like a person that it forgets it is God. After that, it spends its whole life making new experiences that will help it break through the illusion and remember who it is. You're not a person looking for God. You are God pretending to be a person. The whole point of the game is to remember who you are even though you're dressed up. This is what every awakened master has said. You are that which you seek. The kingdom of heaven is within you. Tat tvam asi. I am that I am. All of them point to the same realization. You are God's consciousness. This isn't meant to boost your pride. It's meant to get rid of it, because everyone around you is God if you are. The tree is too. The person you can't stand is the same. There isn't any order. There aren't any chosen ones. There is only one I am consciousness that shows up as all of us. The step you need to take is this. To get into the God state, you don't have to do anything. You only need to stop doing the things that make it look like you're not in it. Don't connect with your thoughts. Don't connect with your feelings. Don't connect yourself to your problems. Know that you are the awareness that is seeing everything. Saying things like, I'm afraid, or I'm not good enough, is just a game of limitation. As soon as you stop thinking about the story and focus on the simple feeling of I am, you are back in the God state. This is the last key. The God state stays stable not by working hard, but by remembering. You just remember slowly every time you forget and get lost in a person's story. Oh, I see. I am the consciousness that is being limited. I am not the limitation itself. That is the whole practice. It's just a simple, gentle, ongoing coming back to I am. Now let me explain why this is so important. You're not the only one who feels this way. Millions of people around the world are awakening to this I am consciousness at the same time. This is the big wake up. It is God, which is what we are all, remembering itself as a whole. It's easier for the next person to awaken after the first one, because we are all one field. Making people agree with you is not your job. Your job is to fully embody this I am truth, so that others are reminded of who they are just by being around you. If the click of this master key has made you feel something, press like. This is how you add your own special light to this transmission. Every like adds a spark to a field of awakening that raises the vibration of everyone who sees this message. Now is the time to play your part as a conscious creator. We'll go even further in the next video. We will talk about the more advanced ways to stay in the God state all the time, even when things are hard. Find out how to be divine awareness and still pay your bills and live a normal life. But first, make your last statement. Write these holy words in the comments. I am what I am. It's not that you want to become something by writing this, which is the exact phrase God spoke from the burning bush. You're saying what you've always been. You are calling out God's name because you know that name points to you. Write it down. I am what I am. After that, join this channel. This is your promise to keep your energy on this frequency. Assure yourself that you are committed to your own awakening and that you are ready to make this God state consciousness your new reality. What's coming will go further. Finally, send this message to at least one person you know is ready to hear it. Sending this is more than just sending a video. It's an act of love. This energizing energy is being sent to another soul through you. This helps build the network of divine light that is healing our planet. Be the one who sets someone else on fire. There is a quantum reflex here. This is divine awareness becoming aware of itself through you. The gate is wide open. We are now in the God state. Welcome back to your divine self. Thanks for coming to I Am.